Good evening, happy Wednesday. Hope you're all enjoying the lovely, lovely sunshine here. Certainly in the UK, it's glorious. I'm a bit warm in the studio this evening, so I'm hoping I'm not looking too red. So, have you been enjoying this lovely weather? It's still April, isn't it? It's May. It's not May until tomorrow, so it does feel very, very um, unseasonably warm, but I'm not going to complain. It's always nice to see the sunshine. I'm just kind of seeing the names scrolling in and seeing that you're joining me this evening. So thank you very much. It feels like a little while since I did live. I was just trying to work out when it was because I was due to be live last week, wasn't I? I wasn't well. And Belinda did the week before that because I was in Spain. And I'm just trying to work out whether I did one before the week before that. It does feel a while. So you'll have to remind me how to do all of this going live malarkey. But hopefully, Mr. G said he's going to check the feed to make sure I am actually broadcasting. But seeing I'm getting some hellos and good evenings, hopefully you can see and hear me. So let me say some hellos because I can see lots of lovely friends and familiar names in the chat. So say hi to Julie and to Karen. Karen, I found that stamp set and I sent it. I've put it in the post today, so it's on its way to you, lovely. I've got a replacement stamp set for that one that tore. Therese, Selena, how are you feeling? Okay, Selena. Sounds like you were you're struggling a little bit with the flu. Hi Nicola. Nicola, I sent you that die as well. I don't know if you've got it yet. Let me know how you get on with that. Hello Heidi, lovely. Steve Gray says it's all looking good, Mrs. G. Well, I doubt it's me that's looking good. It must be the feed. Who else did I see in the chat? I know I saw Julie. And you all scroll past me now, so I can't see you. I'm sure I saw Melanie. So yeah, say hello. If I've missed your name and you're here, then say hello so I can see you. Hi, Steph, Vanessa. Hello, lovely. Hope you're staying cool and not suffering too much with the heat this evening. Oof, sounds like you've been hit hard with that one, Selena. I was pretty washed out with it last week, I have to say. Still a little bit croaky, but I feel tons better. It did completely wipe me out. I was feeling very smug because I thought I had got away without a cold this winter. So I think I just got all of the colds in one. It wasn't a nice week. Hi, Lynn. Yeah, I did miss you. We always miss you, Lynn. Was it a reminder alarm for me for being live? That is dedication. I'm very impressed. Hi, Kerry, lovely. How are you? Kerry, was it your shoulder, Kerry? Just fractured your shoulder this week. So yeah, bless you. I hope the pain is subsiding now and you're feeling a little bit better. Obviously, no handstands this evening, please, Kerry. Just stay seated. I don't want any acrobatics. So yes, I can see you all in the chat, and I say it is a warm evening. So I am very grateful for those of you that have taken the time out to join me on the live tonight. Hi, Alicia. It's ages since I've seen you in the feed. Well, I'm very impressed. Maybe I need a reminder for myself. That's maybe what I should do. That's maybe where I'm going wrong. Yeah, you know me, I could get distracted with the chat all evening long, but we've got fabulous new products to share this evening. They went live on the shop about lunchtime today, and so the orders have been coming in already. It's been really interesting because there's kind of two mini collections, and I'll talk you through each of them this evening. But they're kind of neck and neck because I'm always interested to see maybe whether one's more popular than the other. But at the moment, they're proving equally popular. They're different in style, but you can absolutely use them across both collections, particularly the paper pad, of course. And I think this for me is summer crafting. It's that lovely period of the year where we can get to use our vibrant colours and our florals, and we can really just kind of have fun and be quite whimsical with our designs. And we've got Flower Dance, which to my mind at the time when I was putting the collection together kind of reminded me of Carnival. And you'll see what I mean with the kind of the ladies and the florals. And then we've got the Folk Tales, which has kind of got that country garden, slightly Scandi vibe to it. And I know from the comments how many of you have already spotted the cat. So we'll be having a look at that one as well. So as I say, two kind of different collections, but because they're both relatively small, I thought, you know what, we'll launch them together. It gives you the choice. You can choose between each. There's a fab deal on the complete. If you like and would like both collections, then there's a great deal on that. And of course, everything's available individually as well, of course. So you can put your own collection together. You can get each of the mini collections as its own thing, and you can get an all together bundle. So however you want to go forward with this one, you've got those options. I will also be on live shopping tomorrow, which I'm super excited about. I always love doing my live shopping shows, and it's a slightly different slot for me from normal. It's 12 till 2, so it's a 2-hour extravaganza. So it'll be the hottest part of the day. You want to be inside, well hydrated, and enjoying all the demos. So having a 2-hour slot means I can get some really fun demos in, and I've been prepping those today. Oh dear, Nicola's not well. Hi, Diane, lovely. Ooh. Somebody's caught something in an airport. I presume it's Nicola. I don't know. What we all like, eh? I've interrupted my own flow there, haven't I? Sorry. You know what I'm like with the comments. I hate to miss out what the chat is. What we'll do tonight as well, we'll do 2 giveaways. Is Ali in the chat? If she normally is when we're live on a Wednesday. She'll pop up if she is. But what we'll do is do 2 giveaways, and I'll give away each collection. So I'll give away Flower Dance and Folk Tales as 2 separate giveaway prizes. Now, of course, I always hate it if somebody feels disappointed with what they get. So if you are chosen at the end as a winner and you want one or the other collection, then I'm happy to give away 2 Folk Tales or 2 Flower Dances. I don't really mind, but one of each or 2 mini collections are basically the prizes. I'll confuse myself there. Oh, bless you. Oh, you are there, Ali. I thought I'd seen you in the chat, sweetheart. You're at hospital tomorrow, Ruth. Well, the good thing with the live shopping hours is you can always watch them back because they're on YouTube and they're on the live shopping website. So I will obviously in my next newsletter, I'll put a link so you can watch back and at least catch the demos. I'm also thinking that I'll probably do my Sunday video with the Folk Tales collection. So there'll be another demo with that. And of course, got amazing samples from the design team as always, which we'll share tonight, but they will be obviously putting those in the group in the albums, so you will not be short of inspiration with these collections. You have to get rid of those visitors, Julie. They're cramping your style. Hello, Jan, lovely. Right, so I think I've covered the main things I needed to cover. The stuff's live already in the shop. I've got 2 hours tomorrow on live shopping. There's 2 giveaways. Shall we have a look? Shall we have a look at the collections and you can tell me what you think of them? Because obviously I shared a picture, but it's nothing like having a real kind of flick through. So let's turn this camera around. Oh, thank you, Karen. Yes, I always forget to say like and share. So that's very kind of you. If you all could, to let as many people know about the fabulous products, that would be awesome too. So, which one shall I start with? I've got them both here in front of me. And I'll start with Folk Tales, which is, excuse me, is 2 A5 stamp sets and a layered stencil. There is another layered stencil as well, which I'll show you in a second. But in terms of how I bundled the collection, this is the mini collection that I put on the shop as a kind of item, if that makes sense. Hi, Christine. I am feeling a lot better, Christine, thank you. Although this is a good test for my throat in terms of chatting away. So let's start with the this one's called Folk Garden, and I'm hoping I don't get too much glare from the lights. I've kind of left the curtains open because we've got some evening light, but I hope that's not going to work against me. So these are good size stamps. You've got effectively 3 panel stamps. And they are in that kind of, I say, that folk style, slightly kind of stylized, almost like lino cut in design. So you can already see from the way they look, just in the black and white, how gorgeous they look just stamped out, or how gorgeous they would look just stamped out in a single color. But of course, there are lots of other techniques you can do with them as well. The cat in particular is a great one for cutting out. So you could obviously have the cat overlaid on a different background, or you could have it him or her as their own individual element on the card as well, without the background. I really love this little bee border. Again, that bee cuts out really lovely as an embellishment if you want to separate it out. And I love this this kind of almost kind of a scroll edge as well. So you can you've got your frames. You can create frames and expand your designs with those kind of elements added in. So that's the kind of the imagery side of it. And then we've got a fabulous alphabet. You know I love an alphabet, so this is no no exception. This is a super cool alphabet. And I've called it Folk Alpha, but actually it's got lots of kind of doodly design work within each of the letters. So each letter is different. And they're a good size, so it does look a bit folky. It reminds me of kind of quilts and that kind of naive folk art. But equally, if you put it in different colorways, it could look really kind of tribal and really kind of poppy as well. So I think it's a really versatile alphabet and numbers, and because all of the letters are different, it really creates cool effects in terms of if you're doing somebody's name, etc. You get different looks every time. So they're the 2 A5 stamp sets, and then there's a layered stencil which is called Folk Heart, and you can see already how that will work. It's a really simple, I mean, my layered stencils, you get the mask as well, the heart. My layered stencils are never difficult, are they? Although I saw someone who was having a problem with the 2-layer one from the Paper Craft Society box, but you've worked it out. So because I was going to jump on and explain that. It is one of those where you just need to flip it around enough times to make sure you've got the shapes being created. Sorry, I've gone off again on a tangent. So super simple 2-layer stencil, solid base. So this for me is that kind of, again, that folk art, you can see on the side of barges and that kind of, in the reds and golds. It's a really lovely and really simple design, this, but of course you've got a fabulous aperture in the center there. So great for your focal point images, great for your sentiments. And then you can overlay it and expand or extend that frame in a contrasting color if you want to kind of really build it. I bet you are, Amanda. I've got yours all enveloped up, sweetheart. I'm going to see Amanda down at live shopping tomorrow. I always love seeing Amanda. She's my little crafty sister. So there you go. Really lovely, easy to use 2-layer stencil, and this will come to life when you see it used in some of the samples that we have. And I've got a fab demo with that tomorrow as well, just to show you some potential looks you can get with it. So that's, nice and bijou, not an overwhelming size of collection. So if that kind of folk art style and the garden imagery and the kind of the birds and cat are your style or really appeal to you, then that I think is a really great little collection. Oh, while I'm talking about the folk art style. There is another layered stencil which is super cool. I say I haven't put it in the bundle just from an affordability point of view, but it is there on the shop for you. And also, if you watch live shopping tomorrow, I've got one of my stencil bundles on. I've got four stencils discounted, and this is one of those options in there. So if you like this one, it might be worth looking at the full stencil bundle. You might already have some of the designs. They were not all brand new, but if it's a bundle that appeals, then you'll be getting a discount with this included. So this is a really, again, very simple. And this kind of goes on, I don't know if you remember, Belinda did a fabulous fish stencil, a shoal of fish. And the majority of them in that were swimming in one direction, and then we had an overlay where there were couples swimming in the other direction, and that's kind of the style of this. So you've got these doves all kind of going in one direction, lovely kind of fat, stylized kind of folk doves, and then you've got a smattering of them going in the other direction. So really easy to build up. Of course, it's a complete design, so extend, you can make bigger and bigger backgrounds with this, or as I think Brian's done, you can take segments of it and do smaller little elements as well. So it's a really easy one to select different parts. Yeah, Stella Pace, absolutely, Vanessa. The Stella Pace looks great with both of these as the kind of selected highlight element. Hello, Diana. Hello, Marie, as well. You're not that late, lovely. I'll let you off. Just this once, though. Yeah, so in terms of the, I mean, you'll see this in the picture. Oh, wrong one. In terms of the doves, so just to give you an idea of how these, again, you could do them all in the same colour, or you could do them in harmonious colours. But I just thought it'd be quite fun to have a contrasting pop. So you've got the teal there and the red, with the red being the second layer, and you can see obviously you've got the folk art alphabet around the outside. And this is one of those, this is the kind of sample that was making me think of quilts. You know, I could just imagine squares of this pattern in a quilt with solid colours, but also the kind of the letters as well. I don't know, that was what was in my head. I cannot explain it further. So that is an addition to the folk art collection, but it's not in the bundle itself. So that's that. So that is folk art. I'm glad you're liking it. Actually, while we're talking folk art, I'll talk MDF as well, because of course these have that MDF, have that folk look to them. So on the shop. And MDF isn't for everybody, but equally in terms of home decor and just really cute little kind of giftables, then I think it's a nice to have, and they really work. And of course, I'm really thinking about Christmas with these, because I'm thinking, oh, you could do a Scandi Christmas, have them painted in red and white, and obviously, and you've got 3 different designs hanging on baker's twine. I just thought, oh, really gorgeous. And then of course you could stamp with the folk alpha, you could stamp words on the back. So I'm just throwing that idea out there. I haven't made that sample. And the 2-layer. So you've got the option here. You could just have, so for example, I'm doing all this back to front and upside down, as always. So you can see on the shop, I've got 2 options. I've got options with a hanging hole, so you can obviously make them hanging decorations. And also I have an option of the trio without the hanging hole, in case you wanted to put them into a frame or use them as a decorative piece and you didn't want the hole there that you have to cover up. But this was the intention of showing you this, is to say you don't need to use the 2 layers together if you don't want to. So you could actually make 6 decorations with these. You don't need to layer them up. They look really cool if you've got a contrasting colour as the under layer. So and that peeps through the cutouts. But equally, if you want to make them go further, then there's absolutely no reason why you can't use them separately as well. So yeah, it is still hot this evening, Karen, isn't it? I know you're in Wakefield as well. So yeah, so you've got three birds with different designs, 6 pieces of MDF in total. One, as I say, one option with a hanging hole, one without. And they do look lovely just in white, Ali, yes. I do have some, I don't know if I've got them next to me. Well, it does look nice and white in the frame. And I do have some samples, but I think I've left them in the box for tomorrow. Is that all my folk style? I think it is. So let's talk about flower dance. So this is the one where, and I think Lisa was showing this one last Thursday in her live. And this is I do absolutely love this. And I think Brian, I don't know if Brian's on, but Brian would agree. We're both absolutely obsessed with this one. The intention of this one, well, you can do whatever you want with it. But the idea is you've got 3 figures, stylized silhouettes. So very graceful, elegant. They're obviously kind of in motion. And then you've got a range of flowers. So you can use the flowers to dress the ladies, create headgear for them, or you don't need to use them with the ladies at all. And you can just use the florals and create your own kind of designs with them. But the reason it's called flower dance is I thought they look like they could be the stems of flowers. They look like they could be carnival ladies. I just think these are very, very cool. And yes, you can see the paper pad, Joyce. I am moving straight along to that. So this is gorgeous. And then this paper pad, I think, is one of our most lovely paper pads. So it's, again, full of vibrant colours, but also kind of a mix. This is a mix of quite a slightly grungier, the more layered designs. Hopefully you can see these, and also these kind of more rainbow splatters, clean colours. And these are just, I mean, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? So the big chrysanthemums. I would like this as a wallpaper. These remind me really very much of kind of fabrics. Hi Jeannie, hi Deb as well. And then, I say, you've got some, they're not neutrals because, as you can see, they're full of colour and splatter, but these are great for stamping your flowers onto and cutting out. So if you not in the mood to create your own backgrounds, or for doing lots of colouring in on the flowers, these pages work brilliantly for that. So I love this kind of patchworky look to these pages. Lots of blocks of colour here that you can cut out and use separately. Got these big bouquet of flowers. Again, I've cut a lot of these out and used them with the floral dance ladies. So you don't necessarily need to use the stamps. You can use the florals from within the paper pads. They are just stunning, really stunning. Look at the vibrancy of this. So when I talk about the washi that I'm putting in free with this collection, this washi, look at, I mean, isn't that just lusciousness? This washi was taken from this paper. And it just looks slightly more vibrant because of the translucency of washi. So on a white background, it really sings. But you can see how the two things really work beautifully together. So yeah, the washi has come from this particular paper. More of a patchworky vibe, which I love. Again, these florals cut out beautifully. This is, I think, one of my favourite papers. This one I'm really struggling to use because I love it so much. I know you feel my pain. I know you feel exactly the same about pages in the pad. And this is another one with that really deep blue background. So again, you've got your light and bright colours, and you've also got those deep blues where the colours really contrast. And we're back to the beginning. So you get 3 each of those 12 designs. So there's, as usual, 36 pages in there. And I think they're a bit lovely, don't you? I think they're kind of really cool. I'm just trying to think. It's certainly a long time since we did florals, and I just really wanted a rich colour palette. As I say, back to that kind of summer season, you start to get the warmer colours out, and I feel the need for those pinks and oranges, and I think this paper pad is lovely. Oh, you're watching for Cyprus, Lisa, lovely. I saw you were at the airport. Bless you. I'm sure you've got somewhere better to be. I love Cyprus. So you've got these two. And then this mini collection, you've got this gorgeous stencil, the Dahlia Dreams, I've called it. So there's a trio of dahlias, really kind of contemporary and graphic. Again, you can imagine, perfect background for our floral ladies. And then, as I mentioned before, if you buy that as a mini collection, as a kind of single unit, then you get these 2 washi tapes for free added into your bundle. Now, they are available as a separate item of their own. So if washi is your thing, but you're not necessarily wanting to get everything in the collection, it's together, then you can absolutely buy the washi by itself. So you do have that choice. And isn't it fascinating how when you look at this washi here, it looks really muted, and of course it turns out into this. And the reason being, I say, is translucent, so it's rolled up on itself. It's got a variety of different colours behind there, so so I think it's really deceptive how muted that looks. When that's why I put it out on the cardstock, and wanted to really kind of run it through so you could see how many different colours you get there. And then you get these fabulous black and white, which for me is like one of those kind of essentials. It's that graphic element. It's always going to give you a pop of contrast on a colourful design. So is it your favourite now, Ali? Yeah, I think it might be mine at the moment. No, actually, Mixed Media Compendium is still my favourite, I think. But anyway, you can have both. 28 degrees there, is it, Lisa? Oh, yeah, it is. It's definitely warm and muggy this evening. So is that everything? Is that everything? No, there is one more thing that I meant to show you under here. So if you get both the mini collections together as a bundle, I'm also putting this stencil into that bundle as well. This butterfly is a really fabulous big butterfly, and let me show you. I didn't send it to you, design team. I think if I did, I sent it very late in the day. It was a late entry. I'm trying to find my sample with it just to explain it. So there we go. And I'm going to do this in a demo tomorrow, but I just thought it would be a lovely background piece again for our ladies to give them that carnival look with the big wings. So again, it's available by itself as an individual item. You don't need to invest in the whole bundle if that's not what you're wanting to do at this point in time. You can get it as its own item. But if you buy both the bundles together, as well as your free washi, you're also going to be getting that stencil thrown into the mix. So there we go. That is everything I've got for you that I've been sitting on. And I say it was meant to launch last week. And huge apologies that we're running a bit behind schedule. But actually, we had such an awesome sale, didn't we? I think it probably did. It probably did us all good to have a bit of a rest and give ourselves a few more days before we brought out the new collection, because I know lots of you spent in the sale and kept me busy all week last week. Do I accept body organs? Yeah, if they're in good condition, Deb, I'll take body organs. Yes, please. Please make sure you do package them very well. Right. I don't think anyone would want my body organs, to be honest. Let me think. What samples do I want to show you first? Shall we go back to the folk tales and take them in the order that I showed them to you? So I've already shown you this lovely sample, which is just a simple box frame. Okay. Well then, kidney. Well, we'll have to negotiate what these organs will actually get you in terms of how much product. So, unfortunately, I don't have a currency exchange rate on the website for this. So super simple. Of course, white and craft always looks lovely, and then you've got that stamp around the outside, which creates the frame for our bird. So very simple, but that's why I did do the MDF without the holes, as I mentioned, to give you the option if you choose to put them in some kind of frame or some other piece of decor. Oh, I've got so many amazing samples here. This one is by, I'm going to say Kerry, I always get it wrong. It's Brian. Sorry, Brian. And Brian has done exactly what I was saying about the potential with this cat, in that obviously it comes with the full background as part of the single stamp, but it's very, very easy to cut this out and use it as its own element, and it's a good size, so it's still going to work brilliantly as a kind of focal element on your cards. He's got the little bees cut out there and that folk heart stencil in the background, so really, really cool. Also, what he's got here, it's the registration marks that help you line the two layers up. But I've made them little hearts, so actually they work really, they look really pretty with the main stencil. So you don't need to get frustrated if you end up adding ink into the registration marks. It looks like it's part of that overall design. Hello, Ali, lovely. Good to have you company this evening. So while I'm on my cat roll, here's my cat on a tag, of course. So here I have got it stamped out with the full background, but then I did cut it out and lay over the top, because of course by stamping it onto that inked background, all of that inky colour was showing through the cat, which looked cool. But I thought it'd be nice for the cat to be able to have contrast over the top of the inky background, and I could add some colour to it as well. So you can see that it's a kind of really kind of versatile combination. And I know I think it's Friday, Heidi, if you're still watching, that she's got a fabulous kind of tutorial with this cat image, and it's just a stunning sample. So sorry if it's not Friday, Heidi, but definitely is one to watch out, and I know she'll share it in the group. I think this is by our fabulous Kerry. I'm looking for your name, Kerry, but I'm very sure it's you. Shout out if I got that wrong, everybody. And look at this. So she's done a kind of a double layered, or kind of fold out journal page. Got a tag journal edge there, so it'll go perfectly into a journal. She's used, and I think a few of us thought about this with the bird stamps, particularly because there is very similar size, if not the same. Probably this one's maybe a little bit smaller, but works beautifully in just different shades. So it's that kind of block stamping to create that kind of background in teals and blues. And then what she's done here, and I love this, is again, we've got our folk doves in those contrasting colours, and then she's cut a square out the middle and then got the bird sitting behind it. I think that just, thank you, Kerry. I think this just looks really exquisite. So I just love the colours. Really love the colours on this one. So they're the birds from the folk tales, and then you go. So that was the blue pages, and here we've got the red pages. Again, that folk heart. How gorgeous does that look? And she's just really very lightly around the edge to highlight the heart, but left it kind of quite plain in the middle, so you can see the fantastic letters. So again, you don't necessarily need to ink in the whole heart if you just want to create a bit of a frame. Our favourite cat again with those letters, and that's that kind of sampler idea. I was thinking kind of kids' bedrooms where you could have the alphabet stamped out with the numbers. Isn't that just gorgeous? Love it. Fabulous. I need to put that into a disc journal, don't I? This is an Ali extravaganza. I don't even need to check. It is Ali. Because it's her trademark gloriously vibrant colour in the background, with the cat black heat embossed over the top, and then that frame. She just does black and white so brilliantly with that pop of colour, always making things really really kind of striking. So it works brilliantly like that. Yeah, it does have a very lino print style to it, Karen, doesn't it? Totally. Here's one I did, which is just literally stamped straight onto one of the papers from Flower Dance. And this is where I was saying the collections do kind of translate across in terms of these florals, work really beautifully with the folk tales as well. I've done nothing else other than stamp the word and cut out the birds from the panel just to further embellish that little scene. So super simple. You really can make quick and striking cards with this artwork. And here's a good example of this from Brian. I love this. I just think this is such a clever design. So he's just taken sections of the bird stamp to create this kind of little collage, little tiles almost, with that bee there as well. I mean, that just looks so classy, doesn't it? So, I mean, simple as in it's monochromatic, but the composition and the fact it looks so crisp, I just think is beautiful, really lovely. And I can imagine that in a frame as well. That would be just, I'd have that on my wall. And I think this is Brian as well, where we've got that kind of layering up. So he's used the frame element stamped repeatedly, then with that pop of contrast in the center. So again, nothing needed here in terms of colouring in skill, because the artwork, if you can stamp it in different colours, you're going to get that interest. And here's a great example. This is another one from Ali, where again, she's just kind of she's watercoloured the background behind our heat embossed birds, the bee around the outside, and just, yeah. I don't need to tell you how it was done. You can see, can't you? But it just looks fabulous. So really, you know, everything from full-on vibrant colour to that really pared back monochromatic design. The stamps are really going to give you the options to do so many things. So you've got our doves here. I'm fairly sure this is Brian. It is. And he's used the words. They look great over the top, don't they, with Live Love Craft, and then the little birds from the panels, they cut out so lovely to make further embellishments on projects. I like it. Stamp board. Yes, Lynn. Yes, you're right. God, I wonder if you can still get that. You're totally right, because it creates almost that kind of tile look, doesn't it? I think that's what it reminded me of, I think, when I saw Brian's sample. Again, this is what I was meaning with from Brian, where he's kind of taken sections of the folk doves stencil to extend that pattern. Excuse me. They are awesome, aren't they, Christine? I know. I do do lots of oohs and ahs when I'm looking through them, because you just can't anticipate how many variations the team can come up with on a theme, and how different they can make the designs look. And as I say, I know that Heidi's made them look different again from anything we've had here from the design team. You can still get it, can you, Brian? Oh, I'll have a look for that later. So again, this is an Ali one. I think you probably got the gist by now, haven't you? Because of course, it's got that fabulous cut. I say Ali, it is, thank goodness. I always get into trouble for not appropriating. What's the word? You know, when you credit the wrong person. It's great. I love it. It's brilliant. Well done, Ali. Remember, everybody, if you're commenting and you're in the chat, then you'll be in with a chance of winning one of the mini collections. So we're giving one of each away, or two of the same one. If both winners want the same one, I am totally relaxed. So, flower dance. And that sounds like Yoda, that does, Selena. So talented, DTR. I like it. So I've shown you this one already. And this is what I mean about the florals that come with the stamps. These have been literally stamped out of the papers, the more abstract, the more splattery papers in the Flower Dance paper pad, and then they can be used. And there's a lots of different little outfits that the team have come up with. So this is a super simple one, and I've used the washi tape around the outside of this particular card panel. Again, you get 10 meters in on the washi tape, so given it's taken from one of the papers, if you're wanting to kind of be more sparing and not use your paper as the background, then the washi is a great alternative for that. And then I've got some fabulous tags and pages here that I've put onto the wonderful disc journal tabs. So I stole this idea from Ali from I'm definitely sample, was it last collection? I can't remember now. Where she'd stenciled with black ink and then used the Starlight paste over the top, and it just looked gorgeous. And this is, I don't know if I'm doing it justice, it kind of almost looks silvery, doesn't it? It looks great anyway. Take my word for it. And of course I've cut the tag from one of the chrysanthemum papers from Flower Dance. So you've got all that vibrancy going on behind the lady. And then I stole one of Brian's ideas, where I then decided I'd keep my focal point monochromatic. So just left the lady in black and white with the flowers decorating her. And then a strip of washi at the bottom. Super simple. Oh, have a lovely dinner, Karen. Thank you for checking in though, lovely. Hope you're well. This one looks like it could be an Ali one. It is. So again, different flowers. She's coloured these using the grungy type alphabet, the A6 alphabet there for the sentiment, and then she's stamped the flowers on the background. So she's brought more interest to that abstract background with the floral stamping. And here's one where I went a little bit wild with the old inking. I did this while we were away. We've got a Just Dandy stencil in the background there. I know lots of you have that one. And then Our Lady. And the great thing about these stylized figures is they really hold their own against very vibrant backgrounds, but they don't need to be black. I mean, they could be gold, they could be any number of different colors, create a kind of rainbow of them. But certainly they're a lovely size, and I worked really hard with the stamp set to try and make sure that I didn't shortchange the scale of the figures, because I felt they were going to be, it's really important we got them right. And I saw Vanessa saying about the Matisse, and I was thinking just today actually when I was playing with these figures that they would work great with those Matisse backgrounds as well, because again that abstract colourful background with these figures on top will look great. I think this might be an Ali. It is. So again, here you see the figures are nowhere to be seen. She's done stamping and stenciling over one of the papers, and then you just got the florals. So don't feel that you have to always incorporate the florals with the ladies. I've got the dahlias stencil that we showed as part of this bundle on opposite corners of this tag. It's just about having fun with colour, isn't it? Isn't it just? I mean, just again, papers from the pad. I've done no colouring on those flowers at all. And then I want to say Ali, no, it is Ali. Ali's cut papers, flowers from the paper pad and layered them up to add further dimension to this paper. And she's got our figure on vellum, just because the figure's in white here. It's just going to give it a little bit more contrast, step it away from the background, a bit like I did with the Sunday video where I was stamping onto vellum with that. So that's gorgeous. I love these flowers from the paper pad, and that's me back to the beginning. And then I've done another tag here where I did masking on the flowers. So this is all stamped. So again, you can see how easy it would be to create wreaths and much bigger floral designs by masking and combining your floral stamps and just some watercolouring on this. Hi, Anne-Marie. I am feeling better, though I'm feeling a bit croaky now that I've started talking to you all. I love these. Brian's put a few of these in my DT bundle. So these kind of bookmarks, again, these kind of lovely figures really lend themselves to that kind of tall and elegant design. And you've got some grungy type down the side there. So Yeah, I love this. And what he's done here, he's amazing with his paper cutting. But this figure is cut out of paper, so it's not a stamp. This is a cut piece. And then I've got some others. I haven't got them. I have tried to be really disciplined in terms of how many I had out this evening, but these cut out as well. So although initially I thought they'd been like white heat embossed, they've actually been cut out of the patterned paper, and it's the white card underneath it. How cool does that look? I just love it. And then he's used some Santorini blue, I think, out of our Mediterranean Moods embossing powders to create dahlias in the background there. Isn't that cool? And then here's another one where he's done cutting out. He's a ninja. He's a cutter outer. And these are all these figures. So this is where, again, you can see how fabulous they look, not necessarily always just as black silhouettes. And he's got them all kind of out of different papers there. So cool. And they, as I say, this is like an 8x8 card, and obviously with the full sheet of the paper, and they totally pop. Yeah, I think I am going to need a bit of a hot drink this evening, Cheryl. I was fine. I was fine. Obviously I got out of practice talking so much. I don't think Mr. G would agree though. This is by Kerry. It is, yes. Again, just a piece. Well, actually, not just a piece. There's a striped paper, and then she's cut out florals from another piece of paper on top of it, and then she's stamped on the vellum to create that wrap. How cool is that? And then that's our half-tone fragments A7 stamp, just kind of pulling the eye in at the edges. So I was going to say just a piece of paper, but actually I'd forgotten that she'd laid up two of the designs there. Yeah, Brian the Blade. Yeah, that is a cool nickname actually for Brian. I'm going to use that. You're going for that, are you, Brian? And then this is by Kerry as well, and I love this. So she's used our oh god, what's it called? Is it Flower of Life? It's in the bundle for tomorrow's live shopping shows anyway. I think it's called Flower of Life, with the Stella paste on the paper, and then this trio of ladies all wearing their own very fabulous outfits. And the sentiment I think is perfect here for this from the sticker stack, which is I don't know how to act my age because I've never been this old before. So cool. Yeah, don't they? They really do work beautifully as dresses, and then you're kind of as headgear as well. I particularly love the daisy as a kind of headdress. So super fabulous samples. I do have others, but I know Amanda likes to show lots of samples when we're doing our live shopping show, and I know the DT will be sharing their samples on Facebook and Instagram and all those good places as well. So I won't go through all of them, but I can. They were, as always, just such a range of fabulous designs that made me realise how inspired they were by the collections. Excuse me. Oh, I'll just show you these two from my little pile of things. So here I've got the folk heart in pink and black. So again, really lovely contrast with the letters on the inside there from the folk alpha, and that washi tape around the outside. Looks really cool, doesn't it? So again, whatever colorway you use it with, it will have a slightly different look. It can be really quite striking and strong. It can be soft and subtle. And then this is my take on the design that obviously Kerry did with her journal page. And I had heat embossed in white and gold on the black. So that looks really cool as well, doesn't it? So, and this is where I think it does look really like the kind of lino printing, because that kind of once you see it embossed in solid colours, it really does look like a lino print. So yeah, I could show you loads more, but that's all you're getting for now. The stunning cat. I know. Honestly, I could just put a cat out, couldn't I? I do all this work. I do all this work to put these collections together, and then I put something on Facebook, and everyone goes, "The cat." But hopefully, oh, thank you. Oh, well, if you're saying the embossed ones are cool, Ali, then that's high praise, because you are the queen of the heat embossing. Now, do you have time for me to do a quick demo? And it will be a fairly quick one because I can feel my voice is going. But should we make a quick tag? Do you fancy that before I go and before I announce the winners, which I know Ali will message me before we finish. So I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to work on the basis that it's yes. Yeah, you are all animal lovers. I know. I kind of knew it when I put the stamp set together. I thought, I bet everyone loves this cat. It did make me chuckle when I saw the comments. Shall we do a quick demo? Right, okay. I am going to make this one quick. I do have fabulous demos lined up for tomorrow, as I say, so tune in for the shows 12 till 2. I'll put the link in the Facebook group, and it's in the newsletter as well, so you can watch live, but at the end of the day you can watch back as well. So definitely worth kind of tuning back in for any ideas or inspiration that I've got to share. And I've got some cool demos. I think you'll like them. And the light's probably leaving me a little bit. It looks quite dark on my desk now, but hopefully you can see what I'm up to. So I've got a card blank. So I've cut this from the largest tag in our tag die set. And you remember we were saying about this, literally is a folded card, and I put the die just slightly off the edge at the top, so it didn't cut through at the top, and that's what gave me the hinge. If you oh, hello Carol, lovely. I hope you had a nice time away. Is it a faux card, Julia? I say I'm really intrigued as to how each of them is going to be received, and of course I'm betting that lots of you, even if you get the faux card collection, will probably go for the Flower Dance paper pad as an add-on as well. So I'm kind of expecting that to be popular. So all I was going to say is if you just had a single tag and you just wanted to cut two, you could always just score a line and adhere one to the back to make your hinge. So it doesn't need to be a single piece of cardstock. But it is very easy to do on your die cutting machine. So just a reminder that you can make your own card blanks. And then I've just got the size down in white card, Pink Frog, super smooth. And I'm going to do Flower Dance this evening. And I thought we'll add some ink to our background, just go for a really simple background. I've got a strip of the paper. So this is a strip from the Flower Dance paper pad, and I've been stamping and cutting flowers out of it, and this is what was left. See you later, Christine, lovely. Thank you for joining us. So I don't want to waste it, but that's also then going to set give me my ideas for my colour combination. So I'm going to go with some Dusty Concord, some Stormy Sky. I don't know if I use Pitch Raspberry. I might do because the background's pink and it's got pink in it, and Tumbled Glass. So we'll start with Dusty Concord. I'm going to try and do a very, very loose ombre up the card. So we'll end up lighter at the top, so that the flowers with our flower lady will be more visible towards the top of the card. And I think it weights it if you have the kind of the stronger colours towards the bottom. And I'm just rotating my brush caddy, and I cannot see a purple anywhere, so you're going to have to forgive me. I'm going to have to go in with a blue. Let's see how much colour's on there. There's quite a lot of colour on there already. Let me get a microfiber cloth. Just to remember, This is a great way of just taking any excess ink off your brush. It will still look like it's got the ink on it, so the colour will not go. But now you can see I'm not getting any blue coming off it, so it's safer now for me to go into my Dusty Concord. I wouldn't normally do that if I was going from blue to blue, that wouldn't be an issue, but the Dusty Concord's quite a different colour, isn't it? I've not used it for ages, to be fair. I have not used this colour, probably because it's quite close to purple, isn't it? And you know how I feel about purple. Actually, I think there's quite a lot of purple in this Flower Dance paper pad, so I don't think I can claim not to like purple after that. I quite like Dusty Concord though, because it's kind of quite a soft grape type purple, isn't it? I'm using my Distress Oxides here, by the way. I'm just I'm just pulling the colour up from the bottom. I'm going to live danger. Oh, actually, no, I do have another blue brush. You can tell what colour I like because I've got 100 different blues here. So I'm going to go with Stormy Sky, another colour I've not used for ages. Oh, that's a good match for the paper. So this is going to look a bit messy to start with. As we combine the colours, it will look like there are stripes, but we'll be able to soften those out. Oops, look at that. Ink all over the edge. We'll just blend it in. So when you're trying to, I think the Stormy Sky is still very juicy. When you're wanting to blend your colours in, just go back in at the bottom there with your Dusty Concord and pull it further up. It will just help to make that blend look a bit less stark. And it's kind of harder to do when there are different two different colours. You know, if you're going from one blue to another blue, then it will obviously look softer just by its own. But of course, when you've got different colours, then they will. Oh yeah, look, I've got blue everywhere. Can you see? It is very juicy. It's obviously having a bit of a leak. Get that off my fingers. Let's use some of the tumble glass at the top. Again, I don't think I have a tumble glass, but Peacock Feathers or Salvage Patina might be close enough. So this is, I mean, I say ombre, but this light blue is very, it's quite several tones lighter than the Stormy Sky. So it will look quite strong by contrast. Do you know what I'm thinking here? I think I like that actually. That's they're nice colours those, aren't they? Let's splatter some water and get some good old Distress. God, they're big splatters of water tonight. And I was just thinking whether I have my Flower of Life stencil, because I think that'd be quite a nice one. That's really interesting. It lifted really nicely at the bottom here. I don't think this is pink. Actually, I don't think this is Pink Frog, you know. Because Pink Frog lifts really cleanly. And this isn't lifting. That's really interesting. Can you see? I've got splatters at the bottom there, but not as much elsewhere. So I'm fairly sure this is not a Pink Frog card. Now, let me just get a stencil that I need. I do apologise, that didn't go to plan. Right. I'm just thinking, let's use the Flower of Life. Well, that'll be why I don't like purple then, Brian. Loyalty and dignity. Oh, goodness, that'll never catch on. So let's just go tone on tone. So I'm not going to use different colours here. I was thinking that I could spritz water and lift the stencil design, but actually I don't think that's going to work because it isn't lifting with the water splatters. So that's probably best avoided. I wonder what I've cut this out of then. I don't know if that ever happens to you. I do a mega die cutting session, but then I forget what the actual cardstocks are. Now let's use a little bit of the, I'm not re-inking my brushes here. I'm just working with what's on there. This is nice. Add a little bit of Dusty Concord. Let's see. Can you see that? Hopefully you can. I'm just going to try and intensify it a little bit so you can see it on camera. Looks really cool. So just that tone on tone. It's really interesting. There's almost like a shine on this card. Can you see that? Really, really interesting. Anyway, I'm just making life more difficult for myself, to be fair. But I just like that really subtle, but it breaks up the flatness of the colour. Thank you, Vanessa. I'm glad somebody can see it. It's not a figment of my imagination. And I'm not going to put more. I was going to put more stenciling on, but I'm not going to because I've remembered we've got our paper to go across the bottom, haven't I? What did I do with it? Oh, there we are. So I think obviously we're going to tear it because I don't want it quite so neat. And also we want to leave some of that purple, don't we? So let's tear it and then take this will just ground our dancing lady. But by tearing it, it just softens the edge as well, doesn't it? So stick that down and trim it. Yeah, I like that. Oh, I'm so annoyed about that cardstock though. Right. When your card doesn't do what you think it should do. So glue. Because yeah, I think, and equally, just when you see all the kind of splattery detail in the paper, you can imagine you could splatter it with the rest of the tag with dark blues and white inks, and that would kind of extend the splattery style across the whole background. But they do make perfect papers for stamping and cutting your flowers on, so that's always a win. So I've got that. I think that looks really quite cool. And of course, remember, this is going to go onto a strong pink background. So that's where the pink elements in the paper will get picked up. So we've got a lady. I've been stamping and cutting these ladies all day. I do love them. They're actually very easy to cut out. You can be quite conscientious and use a craft knife where there's a space between the legs to cut out there, or leave it. It totally is your call on whether or not you want. Let me find a. So here's a good example from Brian. So in fact, Brian, that's amazing. I've not even thought of it. He's actually cut that bit from between the legs and stuck it back in so that it gives the complete look. Oh, Brian the Blade. Oh, here you go. Here's one from Kerry, where it's the actual stamp. So Kerry's kind of cut out the space between the legs, but it really, I don't think it's one of those really kind of absolute essentials that you do that. So we've got our lovely dancer. Now I have cut from the paper, from the same sheet of paper, I've cut that beautiful daisy, that kind of half daisy, which makes a great skirt, I have to say. It's a perfect skirt for Our Lady. It does make a great headdress as well, as I was saying before. But going with this colour combo, I've got these beautiful flowers from the Flower Dance paper pad. And I just love these. I just love the colours. They're very loose, very easy to cut out. They're not the kind of fussy cutting that it's going to take you lots of time, and they're a good size as well. So I was going to put them over here, but then I'm just going to lose my stenciling. So I'll have to now just have a bit of a rethink. Obviously, you can lose some of the stenciling. Otherwise, do I need all three? Do I need all three? I do quite like it when something goes off the edge of a tag as well, because I think it makes it more interesting. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll put that trio like that. It is super as a skirt. I wish I could wear skirts that short, though. But I don't think anybody wants to see that. So just a little touch of glue. But they are so cool, so fun for dressing up. And you say, because you've got the choice. You've got the choice of whether or not you dress them at all, which I love. Oops. Let's stick this down, and then we'll just get a sentiment from the sticker stack. I'm just I could use the words, the Folk Alpha letters here. So when I say that about these collections cross-pollinating, I think definitely the papers will work across both, but that Folk Alpha works across both as well. But I'm not going to add. I'm not going to add one now. I'll just get something from the sticker stack. I'm just trying to position this big bloom so it's kind of sitting behind her head. Super easy. I do like collections. I like with the folk art ones, it's because the stamps, you don't need to do lots of colouring in. And again, same with these, of course. There's the silhouette images, aren't they? So you can use your pattern papers for your flowers, and then the figures themselves don't need colour. And so that just gives you the freedom to have fun with the backgrounds, the inkiness, and creating kind of stenciled elements, which is what, of course, I love doing. I think that looks great, don't you? I'll get Ali on standby for the winners. Put this lady here. So she's obviously grounded by the paper at the bottom. I do think with these elements, white outline really helps. Just need to put a bit of glue on her hand. She's gesticulating at me. There. And then I've got a sticker stack. I've always got a sticker stack to hand. So I think with the black, what about, do you know what? With you feeling under the weather, Selena, I'll send this out to you. So I'm going to put feel better. So it'll be a card for you, Selena. And I'll pop that in the post to you, sweetheart. There we go. So easy. I could have used, I could have done the whole of the background just in that paper, and it had a really great effect. But it's quite nice to do our blended inking and stenciling. As I say, I'd have got a bit more texture and interest if I'd actually got a paper that would have lifted the ink, because then I could have done something a bit more interesting with my stencil. But that will teach me for not having my pink frog tag. And the figure and the colours just make that really happy, don't they? I like that. And I like the fact it's on a pink card base, because it just pulls those pinks in as well. So I hope that was helpful. Oh, there we go. I hope that was a helpful little bit, really quick, and how easy is it? That's the whole point. I mean, I do like creating tags, and I know quite often you'll say, well, what do you use tags for? I mean, I like making journals out of my tags, but equally, as you can see there, you can use it for your card blank as well. And I'm just under the table here looking for a message from our Ali with the winners. And she's got two winners. She's got Nicola Cooper and Debbie Longville. So congrats to both of you. So Nicola from YouTube, Debbie is on Facebook. I know you can both message me, ladies. But if you want to message me, I've got both your addresses. So that's not an issue. But if you want to message me to let me know which of the mini collections you would most like to receive, and I will send you that one. So either the folk tales or the flower dance, and I'll get that in the post to you. So thank you so much for your company this evening. So I've rattled on a bit longer than an hour. Yeah, all this silence from me, and then I'm ramble on for way too long. I hope to see some of you tomorrow with the live shopping shows. More demos, more chat, and we can really kind of see what these collections are capable of. But in the meantime, I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending your Wednesday evening with me on this warm evening. I hope you like the collections. I hope to see some orders from you, either for both, for each, or for individual items in those collections, whatever has caught your eye. And we shall get back together again very, very soon. But I shall say a very fond farewell for now, and I shall see you soon. Bye.